Alright, my homosexuals, come now. We got shit to talk about. I had a bit of a roller coaster today. It was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. We brought this shit back, you know? But I made a harsh realization the moment I got to the gym today. And that is, if you spend your rest day doing absolutely fucking nothing but eating pizza rolls and ice cream and a lot of other bad things that shouldn't be in your body, and then don't stretch at all or do anything physically active, you're gonna feel like shit no matter how much of a rest you take, you know? My core and my mobility was fine, but my core, I could not breathe today. It was over the moment I stepped in when it came to my energy. But either way, you know, you guys know, I've been doing this shit long enough where I know how to mentally turn this shit on. You know, I know how to like get myself locked in and do what I gotta do to really fucking do it, you know? And although I felt like shit getting in the gym, the clean and jerks actually felt really good. The only thing that frustrates me is the very last rep of the last working set, I leaned forward on the jerk. Just, again, maybe if I stretch a little bit and ate some fucking grilled chicken, even fried chicken, who fucking cares, I would have had enough core strength to not push way too forward on the bar. But whatever, you know? You can't overlook that shit, or you can't overthink that shit. You just gotta let it go and recognize the credit that you're allowed to give yourself, because god damn it, I had some pretty good reps today, regardless of that last one. You know, I think actually every other working rep was pretty damn decent, you know? At least it felt good for how little energy I had. I was grinding out those last ones. So I've said this before, but typically when you go hard as fuck on that first exercise and you feel fucking awesome and you feel like you gave it everything, that typically means the next one is going to, it's gonna mess you up. So yeah, front squats were not fun today. Don't get me wrong, I feel strong. The front squats were flying, it felt really good. I am very happy with how 305 for 3 sets of 6 is moving. I was pretty impressed by myself. If I don't have to fucking toot my own horn, you know, give me some positivity on that shit. I fucking killed it for this little of energy. I was sitting there for like a good 5 minutes just staring into the floor until I realized that my brain was in real time stalling so I wouldn't have to do the set. It's kind of hilarious how your body will involuntarily shut you down mentally, or at least try to, just for the sake of like, please, we've been through enough, please. And I'm like, no, we're scheduled for 3 sets of 6 today. But either way, I did what I always say to do, and I shot the shit with the homies. I tried to enjoy and hype up the sets as much as I could. I turned on a real nice song to amp up before I went into the set. And overall, the last set was the best one. It was the hardest, don't get me wrong, but it felt the best. You know, I felt the most together. And at that point, I don't know if it'll be in the short or not today, because I don't know if they got in frame. But these 2 fucking high school kids, I was shooting the shit with them for a little bit, because they just started working out for their football team. That's how I started. You know, I didn't play football, but the coach enlisted me because he saw a 225-pound fat fuck of a child that could put on a lot of muscle really quickly. And they were like, can we record you and put you on our Snap story? And I was like, oh. If I've never had such an instantaneous boost of energy. That set at 3:15, that was some whippage. Some whippage. It's so fun to be able to have the experience of having other people look up to you instead of the constant you looking up to other people, or seeing what other people are doing and being like, he lifts heavyweight, what do I need to do to lift heavyweight? You know, it's fun to be in that seat for once. And to be recorded, I was like, bro, I normally have to set this up myself. And the kid looked at me and he said, how much do you get paid for this? My bad. I didn't. I had to explain to him how when you run out of shit to do in life, you find passion in the small things and you end up just doing random bullshit for fun. And he looked at me and said, you risk your life for fun? And I've never shook a man's hand harder. I was like, look, it may not be weightlifting, it may not be football, but god damn it, give it a couple years and you'll find something to put your life on the line for. Everybody does. We all find that passion that even if it debilitates our body, we gotta fucking do it. You know? My older brother is a professional artist. He is one of the best artists I've seen in the fucking world right now. He is insanely good for his age. And I can fucking guarantee you, if he does some wacky shit and goes hard as fuck for his whole life, carpal tunnel is on the way. He's gonna be infinitely in a brace that puts him in claw position to fucking do his circles. But anyway, I'm rambling on at this point. It was a good lift. After I got that motivation, the clean pulls were fucking whipping, and I felt really, really solid, very, very good. Whoa, sorry. Slow down. Physically. The front squats took me down a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. Mentally, the front squats literally fucked me in the ass, and that took my physical down a good bit too. But overall, it was a really solid session, and I did the weights really well. So, I'll give it a good 8.35. That sounds pretty alright, you know? I can be happy with that. It's just a matter of, you know, I felt pretty good, and I made the best with what my body was willing to give me in the moment. But god damn it, dude. It was tough. It was tough as fuck today. But regardless, mental. This is where we're gonna get into the conversation today. Because mentally, it's really fucking weird. Because I always do this shit to you guys. Because if halfway through you asked me what my mental was, it'd be in the fucking garbage can. Because I felt like shit. And I was overthinking it wasn't even phantom pain. I was having some slight soreness in areas that I have recently injured, which in a sense enforced me to give myself phantom knee pain, which is fucking ridiculous. But before we get into that, mentally, after the fact, because I always have to give you after, because that's where the passion lies. You know, that shows whether or not I was able to push through it and do the best that I fucking could with the day that I was given. You know, that's all it is. So at this point, off the dome, 8.1. That's what I can give you. You know, I don't want to think too hard about it because then it starts getting a little biased. But I can't disregard how I felt during those lifts. I got a little bit fucked up, you know? It was, I really dragged myself down for what I always tell people is pretty goddamn stupid to do. But the whole point of this, sorry for rambling on for so fucking long, is a lot of times when people go through little portions of their lifting career, because, you know, people will look at 6 months and be like, that's too long, but like in the long run, it is like that much time. You know, you can make a lot of progress in 6 months, and you can get over a lot of injuries in 6 months. And so, myself today included, because I'm not fucking perfect, I do it sometimes too, even though I know I shouldn't do it, but I overthought the little bit of soreness I felt in my left knee again, because, like I said, I didn't stretch or do shit yesterday, and I ate like a fat fuck. I ate a cheeseburger with mac and cheese and potato chips on it before going to the gym today. Don't get me wrong, the carb load was fucking fantastic, but I was shitting my fucking pants doing these lifts. It was not okay. And when you eat that much carbs at once before you go to lift, like in the morning and at night, sure. But right before the gym, I like to have it predominantly be protein because that doesn't tire me out. You know, you get that sleepiness from eating all that shit and the grease sitting in your body and slowing your heart down. So I ended up overthinking how my knee felt, and every single time I did a front squat, especially with how I had this much energy, I immediately started overthinking it and was like, What am I gonna do right now to feel better and do my best? So me right now would always tell you, and me in any other fucking position would always say, just relax. You know, shit happens sometimes. You're not gonna feel it 100%. If you feel legitimate pain, chill out. You don't gotta do every set if you're gonna feel in pain. But I was just a little sore. It just felt a little unbalanced. And I decided, like a dipshit, to stretch the ever-living fuck out of my knee. And that, in two ways, it can go two ways. So, initially, this is a great thing. You want to stretch the shit that doesn't feel good, you know? You got to do those static stretches when you're at home and put some heat on it. You know, ice is for pain, so it doesn't really recover you at all. But you got to make sure you're heating it. And I was heating it. I was doing all this other shit. But at the gym, when I'm having my little existential mid-lift crisis, if you will, every single set, I was doing my close stance, what are they called? Close foot stance lunges. I was doing sissy squats. I was just sitting on my knees as much as I could. I was doing fucking explosive jumps off the ground just to try to stretch it out and hopefully not feel like shit. And in the moment, you get a little emotional. You don't really think about it, but that kind of stretching is overdoing it. And that kind of stretching is what can lead to a lot of you getting worse, you know? In the moment, if you're just sore and it just feels a little weird, but it doesn't feel painful and it doesn't feel like you're at risk for injury like I felt today, then yeah, just work with what your body will give you. Always. That's fucking number one right there. But if you're gonna, especially static stretching, dynamic stretching is a little okay. You know, that just a little bit of dynamic stretching mid-set, that's okay. Stretch it out a little bit, get the blood moving. But I was static holding that shit in full lunges, short lunges, sissy squats, you fucking name it. I was doing like my foot up on a lever and doing lunges with my foot up. Like it was ridiculous how much I was doing it just for the sake of trying to convince myself that I didn't feel like shit when I did. And accepting that shittiness and working with what my body had to give me today, that would have been what led to a really good something in the 9s kind of lift. You know, I would have given my ratings more in the 9s for sure. But whatever. You know, that's how we learn. You know, I had a homie back in Florida tell me how, what was it? They pulled their groin, and pulling the groin is it's a very sensitive area muscle-wise. Don't fucking clip that. Muscle-wise, that's sensitive. You know, I'm not talking about your shit. Anyway, it's hard to stretch that back out and get it working to the same extent that you had it originally. You gotta really do some isolated static holds to actually stretch it, because no dynamic stretch is gonna really just hone in the gooch, you know? And I found out through them that they had been hard static stretching that shit every day at the gym, really hard before their workout. And if you don't know, if you do you can do some static stretching, sure. But if you do a whole fucking line and arsenal of static stretching right before you get into anywhere near a heavy lift, or if you're doing any sort of powerlifting, strength building, Olympic lifting, bodybuilding's a little bit more okay, but even then I would say not to do it. But I was like, yeah, it makes sense that you've been fucked up for over a month because you don't give your body the chance to recuperate. If you do the full static holds right before a lift, you are fully stretching the muscles and striating the muscles right before you're supposed to do that during the lift. The heavy strength lifting will stretch your muscles to that point, you know? Even if you're not doing pause reps, doing like, for example, if I fucked up my leg and I was static holding my quad right before doing a squat session, then squatting I would be way more at risk for injury because of how much pressure and how thin my muscles are stretched. You know, I like to think of it at like a certain level where you have certain levels of muscle tension when you lift. And so doing static holds instantaneously and automatically puts that tension at like a 3 out of 5, you know? And you don't want to be at a 3 out of 5 until you've gone through your warm-ups. And when you're at a 5 out of 5, you got to chill out. That means you've hit your top set, at least to me. I never want to be fully maxed out in any given workout, you know, unless I'm truly doing a full max out. And so I guess just make sure you're not overdoing it and overthinking it like I did like a dipshit today, because I think I put extra strain on my knee today than I fucking needed to. And tonight, I'm going to relax a little bit. I might do a static hold or two before I go to bed, take a bath, get that heat on it, but I can't just sit there for an hour sitting on my knee expecting it to be better right in this second. It takes time. You know, you gotta be fucking patient with this shit. So, anyway, give your body the availability and the chance to heal itself before you put all this fucking strain on it all over again. Because like, look at my left pec right now. I haven't barely done any stretches for it, not because I don't want to. I've done some, sure, but very minimally, because it's been like a day and a half since I pulled it, you know? If I start trying to do as hard as I can push-ups on the floor, then I'm probably gonna pull it again, if not deeper. And I don't want that shit. I want the shit healed in the next week. You know, I want to get that shit moving again. So for now, I can do some isometrics, some eccentrics, and just focus on the tension there a little bit. But I don't need to focus on explosivity yet, or explosiveness. I don't need to focus on static, hard pause holds. I just need to make sure I get like that slow descent and then relax. You know, literally going on my knees and just doing like a knee push-up and just slowly going to the ground and then letting go without pushing back up. That's been very beneficial because I gotta give my body the chance to pick it up where I left off. You gotta treat your body like an infant when you get injured, because your muscle is gonna be able to lift at like fucking 2% capacity if it's fucked up. You can't lift with pain, nobody can. If you are, and you're saying pain, no gain, you are gonna be debilitated by the fucking time you're 30. That's just how it is, if not sooner. So anyway, that's all I got. I'm ranting too much. I appreciate whoever wanted to stick around, hear me go off for a bit. You know how we love to do it here. But let me know how the lives and the lifts have been going. I love hearing about it. You know that shit. The comments make me feel so goody sometimes, you know. But just be safe, you know, take care of yourself, give your body the time that it fucking deserves. Not even alone that it needs it, but it deserves that rest. We put our bodies through hell every fucking day if we're consistent with the gym. It's inevitable that we're gonna get hurt sometimes, but it's up to us to make that injury as minimal and as efficiently recovered as possible. So, other than that, tomorrow we got snatches and back squats. It'll be a little bit more chill. That'll be good. So it'll be a good relaxant for my core. Hopefully with the stretches that I'll do at home, not at the gym, my knee will feel a lot better tomorrow than it did today. And other than that, I love you guys. Thanks for sticking around. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye.